Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, back to bring you news and commentary you can use. Okay, listen, y'all. You all know, I report on world news here, and you all have heard me say this before. Okay, a lot of times when there's a story or stories that it seems like they want us to focus more on, right? I tend to ask myself, okay, what else is going on that they don't want us to know about? Okay, I believe I have come across a story. To my knowledge, this is not headline news, okay, but it is happening. Let's talk about it, okay? I've actually spoken on this topic before. Now you may say, okay, Andrea, you're talking about world news. I don't live in that country, but again, I want to encourage you to think about, okay, if it's happening in that country, who's to say that it would not happen here in the United States? Okay, listen, y'all. Today, I want to bring you some news on a very growing concern regarding food shortages, okay, in the country of Cuba. Okay, did you know all of this was going on? I'm about to tell you, okay, but did you know that Cuba right now is going through a very challenging time, so much so that there are many people there who are hungry, and it seems like the situation is getting worse. Okay, listen to the news I want to share with you. Okay, according to my sources, Cuba guarantees food rations in bid to diffuse tension after protests. Okay, let me tell you what's going on. Now, the Cuban president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, said on Thursday his government has secured a supply of key subsidized food rations. Did you hear what I said, y'all? Food rations. Okay, I have a video on food rations that were done around the time of World War II here in the United States. I'm going to link it. Make sure you check it out, okay? Let me say this again, y'all. This is not headline news, but I want you to know what's going on, okay? And, of course, we're going to ask some questions. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel said on Thursday his government has secured supply of key subsidized food rations as he moved to diffuse tensions just 2 weeks after protesters took to the streets over widespread shortages, okay? He went on the local TV newscast in the area and said, and I quote, that his government had undertaken an enormous effort to ensure the supply of food for the island's population of 11 million people. Think about that, y'all. 11 million people now are going to have food rationed to them, okay? He also went on to say, and I quote, April and May are going to be months with better prospects. The Cuban government will continue to be committed to guaranteeing the people their levels of essential foods, okay? Now listen to this, y'all, okay? Cuba has since provided citizens with a monthly ration of basics such as rice, beans, sugar, cooking oil, and coffee. These were done previously, okay? Though those deliveries have been scaled back over the years as an economic crisis has led to shortages and high prices, okay? The shortages, my sources say, combined with oppressive 10 to 20 hour long blackouts across the country, meaning no electric power, okay? No power, prompted several hundred protesters to take to the streets on March 17th. Okay, this is happening back in March, y'all. Here it is now. We're in April. Okay, so let me read that again. The shortages combined with oppressive 10 to 20 hour long blackouts across the country prompted several hundred protesters to take to the streets on March 17th in and around Santiago de Cuba, long considered, it says, a bastion, okay, bastion of government support, as well as in nearby Bayamo and Matanzas. Okay, I hope I pronounced those correctly. Okay. The government has also taken steps, my sources say, as far as to diffuse those tensions, including ramping up electricity generation almost immediately, largely eliminating the blackouts that have plagued much of the island for months. And it says the protests have since subdued. Okay. Let's see. So here was another quote. Let's see, the Vice Minister of Foreign Trade said on Thursday, state-run newscast, that basic food items will also be guaranteed until June. Okay, so we're in April, May, June. All right. He also said, and I quote, "We can confirm without a doubt that we have the availability of fundamental products such as rice until the month of June." Okay, he said the country was also working to guarantee the supply of both wheat flour for bread production and milk for children into June as well. Okay, now Cuba's food ration program carries a monthly price tag of $230 million. That's according to the local newscast. And my sources say that Cuba is struggling to raise the cash it needs to underwrite its social programs, the result of tough U.S. sanctions, which they're saying is allegedly a part of all of this, and inefficient state-run economy and a tourism industry struggling to recover following the pandemic. Okay, so I just want you all to know what's going on in Cuba. I looked into it a little bit further, and it has been alleged that, as mentioned, U.S. sanctions, other restrictions, maybe regulations put in place have allegedly hurt this particular country, which in turn they're claiming has had some impact, negative impact on the ability of that country to take care of its people. Okay, so just let me know your thoughts on that. You know, you can do your research on this if this is something that you're interested in, but I want you to know that right now, while we're talking about this and we're talking about that, and while it seems like the media wants us to be focused on this story or that story, this is going on right now in Cuba. Okay, it's not headline news. As a matter of fact, when you type in food shortages and you try to look up, you know, some information, a lot of times it's hard to find, you know, what's going on in different areas. But this is a story that I came across. I thought it was one we should discuss here on the channel. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Food rationing happening in Cuba. Okay, do you think it could be very well coming in the United States? All right, let me know your thoughts. Take care. See you in the next video.